Do you know what would go so well with that cup of coffee you're having right now?
Okay, I know. A breakfast taco?
What?
No. A slice of warm, buttery apple pie.
There is nothing more classic or comforting this time of year, so we asked Maya-Camille Broussard, she's the owner of Justice of the Pies, to share her best pie-making tips. Take a look.
We have 3 cups of flour. Then we're going to add some granulated sugar, some kosher salt, and we also need 16 tablespoons of really, really cold unsalted butter. And we're going to cut the butter into the flour. What you want to see is pea-sized shaped pieces of butter. And that butter is going to steam into the crust and puff up, and that's going to make it flaky. I always start off with a little bit of water, and then I add as I go along. All right, so once all of that comes together, then we essentially create a disc. And the disc is about 13 ounces. We're going to wrap it in a plastic wrap and put it in the fridge to chill for 1 to 2 hours. Just a little bit of flour on top. Roll away from your body. Lift it up and roll away. And then you're going to turn it. When you lift it up and turn it and roll away from your body, you're making sure that the crust doesn't stick to the countertop surface. Now we have to make the apples. So I have about 6 or 7 apples that I've sliced, cored, and peeled. We're going to put in cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg, granulated sugar, light brown sugar, all-purpose flour, and then I'm going to work that in with my fingers, or you can use a silicone spatula or a very large spoon. Then I'm going to add in some lemon juice. I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of butter, put it into my saucepan, and then I cook the apples until they are fork tender. So we have our pie shell that is lined with 1 disc of our crust. I'm going to take the apple pie filling, and we're just going to simply put it into the pie shell. Now I've got my crust that I rolled out earlier, and I am just going to simply roll that on top of the pie crust. See how easy that was? Then we're going to take the edges and we're going to roll and tuck, roll and tuck. And then I take my finger and I'm going to push like this. So push to crisp your pie crust. Then I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to cut some bits on top of the pie crust. It's a very important step because your pie crust, because of the butter, is going to puff up and it needs space to release the steam. So that's a very important step. But this is my favorite step that I love to do, which is the last step before I pop it into the oven. I have 1 egg, and then I'm going to have 1 tablespoon of water, and then I do an egg wash. So once I've done the egg wash, I am going to place it on a baking sheet and put it in the center rack of the oven. Another tip is that I really don't want you to miss is to place it on a baking sheet so it can catch all of the juicy juices that may fall. I don't like to clean my oven, so I much rather clean a baking sheet than to clean my oven. So I have a beautifully glazed egg wash pie, and then when I take it out of the oven, boom! It looks like this. It's beautiful, golden, delicious, golden brown apple pie, the best you'll ever have.
Well,
Maya,
just ate a whole apple pie before 10:54.
Worth it, Maya. Worth every calorie. To get Maya's recipe, head to today.com/food.
This morning on Today Food, we're celebrating the launch of our new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker. Just point your phone at that QR code, and we will take you through your Thanksgiving meal in just 6 episodes, course by course, with the help from some special guests. One of them, one of my faves, Maya-Camille Broussard from Chicago, Justice of the Pies. She's helping out with our holiday dessert. That's her bakery there, Justice of the Pies. And she's in that hit Netflix show, Bake Squad. Maya putting a unique twist on classic Thanksgiving pies. Take a look at some of the fun we had together.
You know why this is so important?
Why?
Because I don't need somebody's southern grandma complaining to me about strings in a sweet potato pie. You know.
I see there's a couple on the
No meatball. There's no strings in my sweet potato pie.
Maya-Camille, it is good to see you.
Good to see you.
Everybody's already gone in.
No, it's the best pie you've ever had in your life.
And it
Bar
smells
none,
amazing.
hands
It
down.
smells amazing.
It's crazy.
All right, so
How
a
do
lot
you
of
like
people, Maya-Camille, are intimidated by pie. And we start with the crust. Now, how do you get the right flaky, buttery crust? What's your secret?
Super cold. Ooh, feel how cold this is.
Oh, that is cold.
Super
So
cold
in the freezer?
butter. Yes, I do pop it in the freezer
Okay,
for
so it's
15
cubed.
minutes.
Okay.
And so I'm going to add the butter into the flour.
What is it about? Why do everybody loves pie? I don't trust anybody who doesn't like pie.
Because it's nostalgic. It's something from your childhood, but it's not childish. You know,
Oh,
it's
very nice.
mature, but it's something that everyone has experienced at least once. Most people, I think.
A good pie. So now you're going to go in here with like a pie cutter?
Yeah, this is the pastry cutter, and what we want is to cut the butter into the flour until we have little pea-sized shapes of butter. And what that does is it makes the crust so flaky because you have pats of butter throughout the flour that melts when it heats up in the oven and creates the flakiness and the layers.
And then what are you adding to this?
Then I'm going to add a little bit of really cold
Ice water.
Everything has to be super cold. So we add
That's
some
kind
ice
of part
water.
of the secret. Okay.
And then we put everything together.
And you'll do all that.
Yep.
Now you've got your dough. Now, do you do anything special with the dough before you start to prep it?
So you see how this has a little crack in it? I want to make sure that I meld together any lines because
Okay.
when I put flour in there, the flour is going to make that crack sort of
So this is
separate.
just a basic pie crust that
It's
you're
a
going to make
basic
that'll
all-butter
be the
pie
basic
crust.
for everything.
And then I'm taking my hands and I'm just easing the disc into a larger size. And the heat of your hands is going to warm up.
Okay, and so
the
we're going to
disc.
roll that out, and you could freeze this ahead of time, right?
Then you
if
got to
wanted
throw some flour.
Oh, got to throw some flour. But I want to make sure we get everything in. So what is the pie we're making? Oh, a little kind of a flour bay. Okay, and then you roll it out. Anyway, so
Roll
let's
it
come
out.
over this way
All right.
because we got to do the filling.
So this is the German chocolate bourbon pecan pie.
Bring it.
And you taste the bourbon.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Like
burn
bourbon.
off.
So we're going to whisk this up. Some
You can
eggs.
taste a little bit. So first we need to whisk the eggs. I always whisk the eggs first because when you whisk eggs and sugar together, it's a little bit frothy.
Okay, here's the deal. We spent a little too much time on the pie crust, but we basically, this is what we end up with. The recipes are going to be on our
best pie
website.
I'll ever have.
And what's the other pie that you've made?
That
which
is the
incredible?
sweet potato and plantain.
Plantain.
You can taste the difference.
See, and that's these pies are unbelievable.
Incredible.
Maya, do you deliver? Do you deliver? Because this is
Yes,
incredible.
I deliver through GoBelly.com.
All right, Cooking Up a Storm, wherever you get your podcast, QR screen. We are back with Today Food. This morning we have Maya-Camille Broussard here with us to make one of her famous pies. You probably know her from the Netflix show Bake Squad. And then she joined me last year on my Cooking Up a Storm podcast for Thanksgiving.
Well, she just released her new cookbook. It's called Justice of the Pies, which is also the name of her Chicago bakery. Maya not only bakes amazing pies, she also helps teens experiencing food insecurity by teaching them about nutrition and about baking. Maya, good morning.
Good morning.
It's so nice to have you here. Yes. Okay, so your father was a criminal defense attorney, and you love baking pies. So this is kind of how this whole dream came to life. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so my dad was obsessed with making pies, and he passed away in 2009. So I created this bakery in his memory to celebrate his love of pies and to honor his belief that people deserve second chances.
And each pie is kind of dedicated to someone, right?
Well, in the book, I do interview 10 people who use their work to positively impact the lives of others, and then I created a recipe inspired by their work.
Oh, I love that.
That's wonderful. Okay, so we're getting started. This is, I love the crust right from the beginning.
I know, it smells so good.
It can only get better from
here.
So this is our lemon espresso pie. So I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of ground espresso and 3 tablespoons of melted butter. And then we're going to combine that together until it gets nice and moist.
Okay.
Then we're going to put that into a pie plate and press it down. Now, I like to use a flat bottom to kind of help me press it down. You can use a measuring cup, a drinking glass. It would kind of tamp that down until it's nice and firm. Then we're going to move on over to our custard. So this is the lemon custard, which is something that we also is very similar to like a key lime pie. Okay. Here's the trick. The egg yolks will loosen the sweetened condensed mixture. So what I do is I put the sweetened condensed milk in first and then mix that together, and then the proteins with the in the milk will interact with the acidity of the lemon juice, and it will thicken. But for a little bit of extra pucker, we could put some lemon zest in there as well. So we're going to combine that first, put lemon zest in, and then pour in our lemon juice and combine that as well. And if you find that your mixture is still a little bit loose, then you can let it sit for 5 minutes.
Oh, and it'll thicken up.
Then once it is done, we're going to pour that into our pie dish
base here.
Well, we're going to whisk that. Yeah. There we go. We'll pour that into our pie dish.
Okay.
But this is a very lemony pie. Okay. I like a little bit of pucker.
Yes.
So in addition to having a custard filling, we also have a lemon curd that goes on top. So we're going to have a water bath, and we're going to bring the water to a simmer. And here we're going to combine egg yolks with granulated sugar. A little bit of salt. Salt helps bring out the flavor, and then more lemon juice. And then we will cook that until the mixture leaves a trail when you run a spoon across the top.
Okay.
So what you have to do, just got to keep stirring.
This is like the real
deal. You got to babysit it. This is your baby. You got to babysit it.
This is not baked?
This is baked.
Oh, it is baked.
Not only is this baked, but it's chilled for 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
Because it has to be nice and firm.
Bacon chill.
Say that again?
The bacon chill.
Yep.
Yes.
And so we now have the lemon custard that is chilled. We have our lemon curd, which is also chilled. And we're going to take that and put it on top and just spread it about.
My goodness.
So that we have a nice.
I can't wait.
You can see I love seeing like the 2 different colors of yellow. And now my favorite part.
I know. I can't wait.
Is definitely eating it.
You make it so pretty.
So we're going to take a slice.
So now what about this little part up here? You just add some little drizzlies?
Take a slice of pie.
Okay.
And then we're going to add homemade hot fudge sauce, which is also in the book. And I like to put it on a plate, but then sometimes I get a little, extra.
Yeah. Homemade hot fudge.
On top.
Oh, my God.
I love this.
Oh, this is
Chantilly cream. You could just put a dollop.
Oh, my goodness. I don't even like lemon, and I love this. I'm like,
And then we'll
that
take
is
a bite.
amazing.
Thank you. Now, this is a cold pie, and people tend to think that cold pies are good for summer, but this is actually a winter pie because that is when the citrus fruit is in season.
Oh.
Look at that.
The earthiness,
Listen,
It's fantastic.
delicious. Maya-Camille,
too.
This is fantastic.
Maya-Camille, thank you so much.
Justice of the Pies.
Justice of the Pies. To learn this recipe, go to today.com/food, and Maya-Camille's new cookbook, Justice of the Pies, is out today.